Hello again and welcome to Marketing with Purpose. My name is Monica Pitts, and today I'm going to talk about handling social media for multiple audiences. Now, when I was doing a day, like it was a marathon day of consulting sessions, I had 3 people ask me the same question. They said, we have donors and we also have the people that we serve both following us on Facebook. How do we handle that? Now, the first time that I was asked the question, I thought, I mean, how do we handle this? We talked through it and came up with a good solution. And the second time I was like, wow, people are facing this. This is a real challenge that they have. And the third time I thought, holy cow, I think I need to talk about this because now I've had the same conversation on repeat 3 times. So my friends, let's talk about handling social media for multiple audiences. You're on a mission and you just need more people to know about it. And whether you're brand new to marketing or a seasoned pro, we are all looking for answers to make marketing decisions with purpose. I'm Monica Pitts, a techie, crafty business owner, mom, and aerial dancer who solves communication challenges through technology. This podcast is all about digging in and going digital. I'll share my marketing know-how and business experience from almost 20 years of misadventures. I'll be your backup dancer so you can stop doubting and get moving towards marketing with purpose. So before I jump into this lovely and sought-after topic, my friends, I want to let you know that this is actually also available in blog post form. So if you want to read it and see pictures that go with it, see a nicely formatted version of it, I need you to go over to mayecreate.com and check it out. And while you are there, hop on over into the resources section. There are so many free resources for you to help guide you through whatever you're trying to figure out in marketing your organization. If you do have multiple audiences that you are speaking to on a regular basis, and all nonprofits do, you totally do, and we have to talk to each one of them about what they care most about, the perfect activity for you to do before you even do any more marketing is buyer personas. And I have that activity outlined in my nonprofit marketing plan template, which you can get at mayecreate.com/resources-nonprofit. So go check it out. And with that said, friends, let's get to business. Okay, so where do I start on this riveting topic, right? How do you handle social media for a page that serves multiple audiences? The first step to managing it effectively is to understand who your audiences are, because for some organizations, it's going to be far easier than others. What you'll find is if you really examine your audience, they have the same values, and so it's very easy to talk to them almost with the same message. So, for example, I spoke with UCP Heartland the other day in a consulting session. They're a child care center that offers a unique environment where young children of all abilities learn together. So half of CDC's children have a diagnosed disability and the rest of the students are developing typically. So the program helps each child maximize their gifts and unique abilities to prepare them for kindergarten. So who are their audiences? There's people with children who are enrolled in the program. There are people who just plain old believe in the program. Those are their donors. And then there's people with kids who are alumni of the program. Those are 3 big audiences. I'm sure they have more, but those are 3 big ones. Well, all 3 of those audiences have the same values. They all believe that this system is amazing. They all value inclusion. They all value education. They all value their families and their kids and giving their children the best lives possible. So it's pretty easy to talk to these people with mostly the same message. I mean, obviously, the people with children in the program are going to be very interested in what's going on in the day-to-day of the program, but the people who believe in the program or the people who are alumni of the program are definitely excited to see the strides that the children are making as well. So you might have some posts that go just to parents, but then most of the content can be distributed to everyone without too much worry. Now, on the other hand, another group that I recently did a consulting session with was the Stop Human Trafficking Coalition. Now, That coalition works with human trafficking victims, supporting them with resources and ongoing encouragement as needed to pursue their life goals. And they also provide free educational programs in the community to teach the signs of trafficking and to keep people safe from danger. So their audience is a little bit more, when I say a little bit more, I mean a lot more segmented than that first group that I gave you an example with. So they have past victims that they serve. They have victims currently that are looking for a way out that they help. They have students that have went to their educational programs, and then they also have donors and people in the community that believe in their cause. So as they're trying to build awareness for their cause, things look a little bit different because they have students who are a lot younger and aren't probably at the same level of understanding or interaction with the nonprofit. They have victims and past victims who are going to be sometimes easily triggered by information that they share that would be telling stories of things that happened to them. So that makes it a lot more challenging for them to be able to have a conversation with all of these individuals at once. It's super important that before you start figuring out what you're going to put out on your social media or really anywhere in your marketing, though, that you really, really understand your audience and the people that you're talking to. And that's why this is the first step here, and that's why I'm sharing these stories. So for some of you, like I said, it's going to look like UPC Heartland, and people are going to be really intermixed and they're going to overlap a ton. And then for others of you, it'll be more like the Stop Human Trafficking Coalition, where their audience is more segmented. Both are real examples, and one of them has a more challenging situation to communicate with all their audiences on the same page. Now, once you get done defining those audiences, and you can do that in my free resource, the Nonprofit Marketing Plan Template. Remember, it has buyer persona templates in there that you can use to ask yourself questions about your audience members. Go forth and do that, my friends, because it will make a huge difference in your messaging and your confidence in your messaging once you really identify who you're speaking to. Because then you can have a conversation with somebody instead of just putting stuff out there that sounds like an advertisement, right? So once you understand that, the second step is to go out and check out your social media accounts. Who is following and interacting with you? You know who the people you serve are. You know who your donors are. And we need to figure out who's actually following you on these accounts and who's actually interacting with you. What's interesting is it may not be who you think. For example, the May Create Facebook page is followed by a lot of our clients, while our Twitter page is followed by a lot of other people who do things that are similar to what we do. So we could have a completely different message on each of those platforms, and that would solve the problem naturally, right? You don't even have to worry about it because all your audiences are not actually sharing the same space. Now, I want you to dig in and understand whether more of the people interacting with your content and following your page are donors or if they're the people that you serve. If there are more people that are donors and less of the people that you serve interacting with your content, then you could consider starting up a group for a more private way to engage with the people that you serve, right? Because those are the people that you need to make announcements to, that you're going to be sharing different types of information to than with your donors. Sometimes. Just depends on your audience, right? So that can be one solution for you if this is already naturally happening. Let's say, though, that it's just 50-50 and you've got all of your audiences and they're all engaging and they're all doing the stuff, right? Okay, so then it's all together. And you know what? I wish that I had a whole bunch of advice from you on how to exactly strategically extract them. But short of starting a group and inviting all the right people into the group and seeing if they'll interact in there, I don't have one for you. It's just a trial by fire, right? You can give it a whirl, and if it doesn't work, then close the group. They're still over a part of your Facebook page, right? So make sure that, you give that a whirl if that's the plan that you think you need to have, if they really need to be segmented. Now, if it's all together, then I want you to look at the content that you're posting and talk to each one of your audiences about what they find important on the topic. So you don't have to just post once. You can post about the same topic multiple times, and you're going to spin it to the audience the way that they care about it. So for example, if you are UCP Heartland and you're trying to spread a message of inclusion to people, you might write an article for your blog that's all about inclusivity. So think about that article in your blog. If someone reads it who has kids in your program, what's the thing that they are going to latch on to the most about that article? It might be all the things that you do in your facility that promote inclusion. Then think to yourself, how about the people who just plain old believe in the program? How are they going to interpret that? And then think to yourself, what about kids who are alumni of the program? How would they interpret that? So you could use different pictures. The people with kids that are alumni might latch onto the pictures of children who are older. The people with kids in the program might latch onto the pictures of kids that are younger. Maybe in the article you offered advice on teaching children about inclusion on multiple age ranges. So you could talk about it for elementary school age kids and for pre-K kids, right? So you get what I'm getting at here. You can take the same piece of content and you just repurpose it and you talk about it through the eyes of the person who would be reading it. Now, this is kind of a subtopic of this topic, but one of the questions that people asked right after they asked me how they manage their social media with multiple audiences is it okay to ask for donations? And the answer is absolutely, positively yes. Absolutely. You need to be asking for donations, and you can do it on a page with multiple audiences. I want to caution you though. A lot of people feel like social media is the end all be all. My friends, if you are not out there just working that social media, it is a great way to share your message and meet new people passively, but it's not going to be the way that you bring in all of your donations or even a large chunk of them. It's not often the highest converting form of traffic to a website for donations. Higher converting traffic are the people that come in directly, like they typed in your domain name, or that came in from an email. That's higher converting as well. Really, the surest way to get donations is to pick up the phone and call people, send them a letter, personalize it, make it authentic, make it real, ask them. That's the way so many of your really big donations are going to come in. It's not through social media. So yes, absolutely ask for donations. Just know that this is not like the cornerstone of your campaign unless you're really, really working it really, really hard and you have an amazing audience. Okay. So the reason that it is okay to ask for donations is because the people you serve know that you do amazing things. I mean, where do they think that this money comes from? You have to get it from somewhere, right? And they should see it as you're raising money to continue providing the service to take care of them. And so you're showing them that you care about them by asking for donations. Now, the people that you serve, they are proud of you, right? They know that you do an amazing service. So you can ask them to help you. You don't have to ask them to donate. You can ask them to comment or like or share, because that exposure is going to help you meet more people, which will in turn serve them even better. So everybody can give in their own way. Not everybody can give you money, but everyone can give in some way. And some people, like the people that you serve, might only be able to help you by sharing information. And so you can ask them to do that, and they will do it for you. Now, as you are asking for donations, as you are posting anything with this mixed audience, be considerate, right? As you're sharing stories about the community that you serve, know that they are reading too. So you need to show them in their best light. Show how they struggle, show how they succeed. We need to champion the people that we serve, not push them down and make them into victims. Now, on the flip side, though, that second group, remember that we talked about the Stop Human Trafficking Coalition? They serve people who are victims of human trafficking. And one of the challenges that they face in the area that we live in is that people don't realize that it happens right here. And so sometimes they have to tell really gritty stories that hurt. They hurt when you read these stories because you can't even believe that human beings would act this way, right? But they have to tell those stories because people have to see it as real. They have to understand that this happens in their communities so that they will help the people who it happens to. They don't know. They think, oh, well, that person's just homeless, or oh, that person's just addicted to drugs. They don't know why that happened. And so to tell people why it happened, they tell the stories. And everyone's always telling you to tell stories in your marketing, right? You've heard it so many times. Tell the stories. Okay, so when Stop Human Trafficking Coalition tells these stories, imagine how that feels from a victim's perspective. They see it and it hurts. It's a trigger, right? So how do you handle that situation? Now, while I was talking to them in this consulting meeting, I remembered back to my experience as a Rotarian. So when I first learned about their coalition, I think it was like 8 months pregnant. And I'm sitting in a Rotary meeting and they showed this video. I still remember this story. I still remember it. And I remember getting in my car afterwards and I called my husband and I was like, that's it. I am going to go pick up our oldest child from her preschool and I'm going to go lock us into the upstairs room of our house. We will come out once both of these lovely children that I am raising, well, one of them was in my belly. I mean, I guess I was raising her. I guess it was incubating her. I will come out once both of our children are out of high school because then I will know that they're safe, because I was so taken as a mother that this could happen to people, right? So I was extremely triggered by it. And then we had another police officer that came and talked about a really similar topic the next week. And I emailed our president and I said, whoa, guys, I can't keep doing this. Like, I am torn right now. Like, I am so upset for these people and it is hurting my heart so much. And I know it's real, but do I have to come at lunch and hear about it every single day? I'm 8 months pregnant, for heaven's sakes. And so then the Rotary Club put in place an email that they would send out anytime that they were going to have an emotionally triggering presentation. So that way people who would respond the way that I was responding to those conversations would be able to excuse themselves from that lunch. Okay. So that made me think, can't we do the same thing on social media though? Can't we give people the consideration about what we're going to post? So we decided that maybe what we could do is, if you're going to post something that's sensitive, let them know, right? Because not everything shows up on your newsfeed. There's a less and more button. You got to click to read more. You just see this little instance, right? And think about the things that make you click on something. If you read something that was with an emotionally charged picture and it said, to the victims of human trafficking, it hurts our hearts to even tell this story, because we know that you've been through this and we love you and we support you, and we are going to tell this story so that other people understand what this is. There is an intense story in this post, and if you're not okay reading it, don't read it. So this is like a total, I don't want to say it's a total sales tactic because we're talking about something that's really intense right now, right? But think about it. You're a little kid. Your friend's playing with your toy. You can't play with that toy. You're like, I want that toy, right? So when you tell people don't read something, the rest of the audience is going to be like, I better read this. This is going to be intense. Do you see what they just wrote there? They said, watch out. This is going to be intense. It's like, I'm going to show you a train wreck. Are you ready to watch it happen? So in a way, even though you don't start the post with the story, you can start it with a warning. And I think that people are going to read it just as well, right? So the other thing that we talked about too is, if you are going to post those types of things on your social media, I want you to really pay close attention to the people that are interacting with it. Like, they explained to me that a lot of their really supportive donors are interacting with that content. So that means that they are wanting to read those stories. Now, if they didn't have their donors interacting with the content and it was just a bunch of people that they don't know, then that would be a choice that you could make. Like, is this even something that we should be posting? So take a look at some of the things that you post that do well and really diagnose, like, who is interacting with this stuff? Is it worth it? If it's going to hurt another audience member to post it. And then if it would potentially trigger or upset another audience member, then make sure that you let them know. Do what Rotary did and let them know, hey, this is going to be a sensitive topic. And I really don't think it's going to deter people from reading it at all. I think it's going to just let them know that you are compassionate human beings and that there are other people out there reading this post that have been through this, which really just humanizes your content even more. Woo, okay, so that got a little intense there for a second. My elbows are actually sweating right now. No, not my armpits, my elbows. Yeah, I don't know. They were sweating. I think I was holding my arms up really tight as I was talking about that. Clearly, I am very, very passionate about us being respectful and considerate of all of our audiences. And in order to do that, you have to start at the top, right? You have to know who you're talking to. And for some of you, it's going to be easy. You're going to fill out your buyer personas and you're going to realize they all overlap. Sweet. You don't even have to worry about it. Just go on with life. Okay. And then there's other of you who are going to do the activity and you're going to be like, ooh, things are not overlapping the same way. All right. So that means that we need to keep moving on. Let's see who's following and interacting with you. I mean, even if they do overlap, I would still go and look at seeing who's following and interacting with you. Make sure that it's who you think it is. And then remember, you can always separate out the people who you serve into a group so you can have a more private forum with them. And that's just going to be a trial by fire situation. See if it works. And if it does, awesome. And then if you're going to keep everything together, know that you can post more than once about a topic and talk about it to each audience and explain what they would find important about the topic that you're posting about. Also know that it is really, really okay to ask for donations because your money comes from those donations and the people you serve understand that, and you're not asking them to donate. You can ask them to share, and you can be considerate in that ask as well. And that, my friends, is my advice for you on managing social media accounts with multiple audiences. Now, I know that we just talked about buyer personas a lot, so I'm going to remind you just one more time that I do have a buyer persona worksheet inside of my nonprofit marketing plan template. So head on over to mayecreate.com. Underneath nonprofit, there is a resources link. You're going to click on it. Then you're going to click on nonprofit marketing plan template, and you are going to download this workbook. It's amazing. I like it because I use this same process whenever I plan people's marketing, and hopefully it will remove the guesswork from your marketing plan by helping you do things like make buyer personas and give you a clear path, like a fill in the blank workbook, because it's a workbook to document every single thing that you need. Well, maybe not every single thing that you need, but like most of the things that you're going to need in your marketing plan. Okay. With that, thank you so very, very much for listening. Now go forth and market with purpose.